And we're gonna do it all again because I switched to the wrong scene in OBS. Hey everyone, sorry about that.
Hello. Yes. Did we skip the entire intro?
Yes,
or...
entire intro. They never saw us.
All right. So here we go. Second go. Hello everyone, and welcome to Prusa Live, episode 41. I am joined today with Enclosure. We will not have Joe with us today. Probably. There's maybe a slim chance. Cross your fingers. Don't hold your breath. He is off doing, as Mickey says, CEO things. So we'll see if he manages to join us later. But
Joe was just here. He was ready for the show, but he was called off last minute. So I don't think he'll be joining us. Maybe they'll be done in time.
Maybe.
We'll see. Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see. But we have a great show for you today. Our guests are Make3D, a group of talented makers that are putting their skills to work in Gambia. So that will be a really, really fun guest talking about making for good. So let's go ahead and kick off with our Prusa Printers picks of the week. What do you have, Mickey?
I have a...
Crap. Our Printables pick of the week.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop saying that at some point.
Happens to me from time to time, too. I have the Lucky Cat Money Box Charm. Nice. But this is what the model looks like. But, you know, we have Prusa Slicer and we have MMU painting.
Right.
So, ta-da! Even though the
nice.
model is not made for the MMU, it's painted, and yeah, now it looks like it was made for the MMU with multiple colors.
Right. It looks like one that you would just go get in the store, all painted up.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And painting in the MMU makes it so easy. You don't have to have a model that's already designed.
This is a combination. I'm actually just screen sharing the model profile on Printables. It's modeled by 3D Park. So thank you for the awesome model. And yes, it's a combination of painting by the smart angle detection, where you just hover your mouse over a region and it will color everything up to a sharp edge. But there are also some areas like the ears where the original shape was smooth, so there was nothing for the algorithm to catch on, and then you just free paint on. You just copy the by hand. So that's my pick. What's your pick, Matt? What do you have?
Very nifty. So I have the tactile spiral vase pen cup. So we just finished our pen cup competition, and this was one of the picks. I really love this one because kind of like, do you remember the stretchlet bracelets that they were vase mode, but they're real springy? This has that same kind of thing. So it it squishes and it moves around, but because of the angles of everything, it squishes in a really weird and fun way. And like you don't get it until you print it and you feel it. For it to be called the tactile spiral vase is a very, very good name for it. It feels really.
I will have to try it then.
Yeah,
is that PLA print or PT?
This is a pet sheet.
Okay, that's very flexible for PG, I guess, because of the shape.
Yeah. I had it loaded up, and it was easy to just go with it rather than going and switching out filaments. So yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, and that is by Donald Sayers. Or Donald Sayers, I think. I mistyped it here. Donald Sayers, cool model. Again, one of our Flash contest winners from the spiral vase. Or sorry, not the spiral vase. The pen cup competition.
Someone's asking how long does the kitty take to print. It's not too bad because usually it's only 2 colors per layer. Here sometimes it's 3, but it's not an extreme amount of color changes. Yeah, I don't remember, but I think this is like 6-7-ish hours because it's fairly low layer height. So this will be like double that, like 15-ish, something like that.
Very nifty. You should toss the G code out on that one so
yes,
that anyone
I should.
who wants to.
And we have so much news. It's crazy.
So much news. Yes, it's crazy. Let's get to contests real quick and bang those out. There's a couple days left on the soap dishes flash contest. Get your entries in there. Last meters just ended. You guys went crazy on that one. Over 1,000
Whoa,
entries.
what? I did not notice that. That's insane.
Yes, over 1,000 entries in the last meters contest. Just blew that one out of the water. Wasn't sure exactly how that one was going to go, considering that you've got to make really small things, but you guys went crazy there. So yeah, we're in the process of judging that we will have out by sometime before the end of the week, hopefully. Going through 1,000 entries. The scroll down, so it's blanking out of my mind there. Yes, the Printables competition just ended, and we are in the process of getting that judged also. Large. Go ahead.
And we just met Joe, the 3D printing nerd, on Rapid, and he and his team are picking the Remix Superhero contest. So we will tag them on Printables as well, but it's them who are picking the winners.
Yeah, so we're waiting on them on that one. So don't yell at me. But yeah, so the Printables will be judged soon, and we have another large scale contest launching very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
What are you wearing there, Mickey?
I'm wearing our new shirt. Of course, everyone says when we release a new shirt that it's great, but this one is really this has got to be my all-time favorite from the designs we've done so far. It's blue,
the blueprint shirt,
because it's a blueprint, right? And yeah, it's just a blueprint drawing of the Mark III S Plus with some descriptions of what's where. And if you're non-3D printing heavy friends ask you about how does 3D printer work, or what's this, what's that, you have on you a baseline drawing where you can say, oh, this is where the filament melts, this is the heated bed, you know the drill. Yeah. I don't have to explain it to you guys.
Yeah, you were rocking that at Rapid last week, showing it off as it was
stocked just the day before I left, so I quickly took one out and gave a sneak peek on Rapid. But yes, it's really nice. I think a lot of people were asking about if we're gonna make it a reward on Printables, and I don't think right away, but we're considering it maybe in a bit.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Speaking of Rapid, shout out to everyone who came by the booth at Rapid that are Prusa Live viewers and said hi. It really meant a lot to us to get to meet you guys and talk to you guys. It's easy for Mickey and I just to be having a conversation across the computer here, and sometimes kind of forget all of you guys are out there and not really get some of that feedback. And obviously YouTube comments are YouTube comments, right? And so it was really great to meet you guys and talk with you. So we have a bunch of events coming up soon. If you guys are watching Prusa Live, please stop by and say hi and let us know that you're viewers.
It really makes our day. It's really nice. So thanks everyone who stopped by. It was nice.
Yeah, it was fantastic. One of the things that we had at Rapid was the new Enclosure, and some of you guys were super on the ball last Prusa Live because Mickey had it sitting off to the side and was teasing all of you guys with just the corner of it, but we hadn't released it yet. So that was a dirty little trick that we kind of planned out of angling the camera just right that you guys could see it, but pique your interest as to what that box could be. There were some funny "What's in the box" tweets that were
"What's in the box?"
Sent. Yes. So we've launched the brand new official Prusa Enclosure. Fits the Mark III. Will also fit the MMU inside of it if you do have an MMU. It's a little tricky getting all 5 spools in there, but it can happen. Fully encloses your printer. Comes with the thermometer, as that screenshot was showing there, the thermometer and humidity gauge. But there are tons of other accessories that can be added to the enclosure.
It's built
and
like
a lot more
tank.
in the works.
It's
Yes.
quite thick steel, bent steel sheets, steel, steel, just
Yeah.
steel, and it's powder coated with the same nice galaxy, surface as the frames.
That's really the thing that like I don't think comes across in
From the images?
any of the photo. Yeah, in the photos at all, is how like really nice and sparkly the powder coating is. It looks slick. I already functionally I was interested in it. But then actually getting to physically see it, I was like, oh, that looks super nice. So, yeah.
And we're just doing, I've just been building another prototype unit. Everyone here is sort of building different versions because the team is trying different tools. And if there's a step in the manual that's kind of tricky, they did 3 different versions and they, we split the group into 3 parts, and each group is, building it according to a different manual, and then we compare the feedback, like how difficult was the step. And even some hardware, like some, we're still trying some small little changes to see if we can make it even better. So the final touches are happening now, and we will be shipping.
Whenever you're ready for me to check the English manual, and you want to send one over to verify the English manual,
I think you'll be happy to get the last revision, because for example,
for sure.
This one right now doesn't have a Prusa logo on it, and I mean, come on, you need the Prusa.
Come on,
yeah,
absolutely.
You need to have it.
I mean, that was even one of my feedback again. Talking about Rapid was the first time that I got to see a functioning XL in person. I had seen a super early prototype in 2019, but because I haven't been over to Prague thanks to the stupid pandemic in forever.
Yeah.
It was the first time I got to see it. And that was definitely one of my feedbacks. It needs more logos. It needs more. It needs more branding. So, yeah, Enclosure is great. Super excited for those to start coming out. Had some really great conversations with users about that over last week. So.
And we will have some more upgrades and add-ons available for it in the future. There are mounting points literally everywhere.
All over it.
There are some for zip ties. There are some for M3 screws. So I'm sure you guys will come up with million, printed things to add to it and non-printed things to add to it. And we will come out with more official items for it. So
well, I mean, we even had fun hacking on it at the show, right? Because we accidentally didn't bring any LED lights for it. We realized at the show, like, you couldn't see inside of it, and so we ordered extra lights and kind of rigged them up to the best that we could inside of it during the show. So it's definitely easy to play around with.
Yes.
Do we have any questions out there on?
I'm looking at it a bit, but the questions are a little bit all over the place. So
as they tend to be,
as they sometimes tend to be, we will try to answer as many of your questions as possible at the end of the show, as we do in the FAQ section.
Yeah. Last but definitely not least major piece of news is the Printed Solid merger. So
there is definitely, I can think of at least one more, but go ahead with the Printed Solid.
Yes. Oh, yes. Prusa Academy too. So Printed Solid. We had talked a few months ago about how we had brought Printed Solid on to be the first U.S. distributor here. Yes, here in the U.S. And that relationship went really well. We were really happy with everything that was going on, and so we decided to make the relationship a little bit tighter, and so we bought Printed Solid, and they are now part of the Prusa family. Yeah, there's Dave and Joe. So one of the big questions that we get is, are we still going to be able to get Jesse? Are we going to be able to get all these other product lines from Printed Solid and other third-party vendors that Printed Solid sells? Absolutely. Everything right now that you can get on Printed Solid, we have full intention of keeping those things around. We have absolutely zero intention of shutting down the Jesse line or anything like that. We are excited to add all these products into the Prusa family. We have no desire to get rid of anything.
I saw a lot of questions about will my enclosure be shipped from the US? Will my this and that shipped from the US? Right now, no. Right now, things continue to operate as they are at the moment. I think we would like it to be that way, but there are many steps for that to happen. Whether it's just implementing it, the logistics and everything, and there are even laws and everything, because European company can't just send customer data to another American-based company because of personal data protection, and these laws are fairly reasonable. They are there for a good reason. But in a case like this, it's not as simple as you place an order from us and automatically, the thing sends from Dave. But I think, as we build this thing with Dave and Printed Solid, this might happen in the future.
Right. Yeah, and there's all kinds of other reasons why it still makes sense to kind of order direct through us. Especially if you're ordering just a machine or some spools of filament or things like that. Like our shipping rates are actually super reasonable for Brog, like surprisingly reasonable for Brog. And once we start bringing in large containers of things, there's all kinds of import duties and things like that we have to worry about, that we don't have to worry about with single orders.
But to give one example, for example, we can't ship the fire extinguisher tubes for the enclosure from Europe because couriers consider it extra special goods. For example, it's dangerous. Like, what's it gonna do? Extinguish their truck if it catches fire? But kind of hilarious to me. But whatever. We can't really ship it from Europe to US. But Dave can just ship it from US. So, for example, that's one example of many of how nice it will be to have Dave in Printed Solid in the US, and he can ship some of the stuff.
Yeah. And fully also including all the stuff that we talked about when we brought him on to begin with, that the opportunities that this opens up for schools and for government institutions and things like that can only purchase through a US company. This makes that a lot easier. So
yes,
fantastic.
And then we have Prusa Academy.
So many things.
So yeah, I don't know if everyone who's watching, is up to date on that, but we released Prusa Academy. It's our own platform for sharing knowledge and courses specifically about 3D printing. So really, that's all we focus on. We have 2 courses available now. One is for the Mark III's and one is for the Mini. If you bought the assembled printer, you actually got it for free. If you got the kit, or if you're just interested in going through, because there's a lot of information, even if you don't own the printer, they are extremely, I think, accessible as far as the price goes, reasonably priced. I can open the Academy page so you have an idea of what it looks like. So yeah, there's the Mark V Plus course, the Mini Plus course. I believe they are $5 each. And then we have the design principles for 3D printed parts. That's a course we created in collaboration with Joseph Kasha. You may know him as Breaks and Makes or 3D Printing Noob. And yeah, this course, I can give you a sneak peek of what it looks like. So I'm pretty far down in chapter 311, and here we talk about assembling parts from multiple parts for whatever reason, whether it's because the thing doesn't fit on the build plate or because it will be easier to print. And yeah, the courses are a combination of images, text, and videos. We think this is like the what would you say it, like the golden choice. I'm in loss of words for English. Like the
no matter what your style of learning is, that this will be the good. A good way to potentially get the information across.
Yeah, because videos, whoever made the video is setting the pace. You might be skipping back and forward because it's too fast, it's too slow. Wall of text is a wall of text. It gets a little bit too much after a while. Images don't describe, something. Some things are hard to describe with just images. So this is like a healthy mix of all of that. and whatever is the best to describe the thing, that's what we use. There are tips all over the place. There are quizzes at the end of some chapters, and you get a certificate in the end when you complete the course and successfully pass all the quizzes. I think it's great. I hope many people will find it useful, and this is something that we've been working on for a really long time. So I hope it shows in the quality of our courses.
Right. And there are more on the way. There are more courses coming. So
yes.
we are super excited to kind of expand upon what's available. So definitely keep your eyes out for more Prusa Academy content.
If you guys have a suggestion for a course we should definitely make, please leave a comment in the chat or in the comments later on under the video.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, shall we move on to our guests?
I think that's all the news.
That covers the news. I'm sure we forgot something. So much has been going on that I'm sure we forgot something. So, but yeah, let's continue on with our guests. So we are being joined by Juka and Sylvester from Make3D. Pulling them in here.
Yes.
So Make3D is working with local users in Gambia to bring 3D printing to people who can use it to benefit their communities. So welcome, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Juka. Hi, Sylvester.
Hello, guys.
Hi, May. Okay, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm good.
So Juka is currently in Gambia in their shop. And Sylvester is actually back in Prague on a little bit of a vacation, or back in Czech Republic at least.
Something like that. Yeah.
So fantastic, guys. So tell us a little bit about Make3D and what exactly you guys do.
Yes, so we are Make3D. We are a 3D printing company in the Gambia, the first and currently the only 3D printing company in the Gambia. And we provide 3D printing services and access to 3D printing technology, basically mostly in healthcare, education, and general manufacturing. We use 3D printing to solve problems in the Gambia. We call it Gambian Solutions for Gambian Problems. And we do everything 3D printing using all of our machines in our lab are from Prusa.
It's great.
Fantastic.
We got a taste of a little bit of what you're doing because you guys really helped us when we were putting together models that could help in Ukraine, and we found out that you guys actually already have a functional like medical device that you're using in Gambia. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have the orthopedic humeral brace, which is a brace that is used for broken hands. And this is the first certified 3D printed medical device in the Gambia, which we designed in partnership with Dr. Keba Marina, who is also the first orthopedic surgeon in the Gambia. So basically in Gambia, people tend to avoid surgery a lot when it comes to broken bones or would not want to go to the hospital. So we came up with this device to encourage people to go to the hospital and to have this brace instead of a cast that will be on their hand for a long time, not too convenient. This is very convenient. It is breathable, it is adjustable, and very safe, so you can use. And since it works, we have got certification for it.
That's fantastic.
If I may add that we are looking forward to have the XL printer from Prusa so we can print also bigger braces.
Oh, bigger braces.
Yes, because people want bigger things in Gambia, definitely. And there are some bigger braces that we need to print.
Yeah, now we are working on the wrist brace. 3D printed from PLA, thermoformable. Actually, we are using the recycled PLA from Prusa.
Oh, nice.
Right now to develop these braces.
Yes.
And yeah, but you know, the options are unlimited. So we are trying to explore more and more in medical, not only orthopedic, but also other areas of medicine, 3D printed solutions.
Which we might find out when we go to your profile on Printables. And if I sort your models by most downloaded, there's another model that really caught my attention.
Yeah, when I came to Gambia myself, I was working for the NGO in Czech. It's Bikes for Africa, and they are providing bicycles to school, right? And one of the issues in general, not only about the bicycles, but in general in the Gambia, is completely dependency on import of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to find out. I was thinking, what tool can I actually 3D print for the bicycle mechanics? And we came with these wheel truing device that you can attach to the bike and actually make sure that the wheel is in center, right? So now we provided some of them to the bicycle mechanics in rural areas, in urban areas, so they can use it instead of imported, expensive, and very often inaccessible professional tools.
Hmm. Yeah, and this is a great tool that will function perfectly well as a 3D printed tool. Like it's not something that needs to be made out of hardened metal. It needs to be easily adjustable and mountable, and then whether or not it rubs is all that really matters as the process goes. So it's a perfect use of 3D printing technology to make a tool.
Sure.
Yes.
When you show the profile on the printables, actually, if you scroll a little bit down, there is another very interesting tool that we were making since the beginning, and I would say that the most quantity of the tool was made, particularly that it was the soap molds for the local soap makers, right? Because in Gambia, there's like no big factory for soaps, right? So there are in the villages, there are little soap makers making small quantities of soaps, right? And there are problems. Everybody uses a different mold. So the soaps are not unified. Everything is different, and they cannot brand soaps with their own designs, right? So we have printed the soap molds. They are unified, and they can have the local, the name tag or the logo, the local soap maker, so they can brand their products and technically provide when collaborating, provide in larger quantities together.
Mm-hmm.
Also because there are a lot of women doing soap production, it gives them an edge. When they have the 3D printed soap molds, it actually puts them out there, and people want their soaps more than the other ones. And this has just boosted their economic value when it comes to soap production. So getting the molds, getting unified sizes, and just being there when it comes to technology, understanding that they can enhance their business using 3D printing has been amazing.
Yeah, that's such an interesting story, because it's the kind of thing that people who are not there would not think of. That something as simple as just making a soap mold would potentially financially impact people in such a positive way, and it really shows that there's a lot of things that like this that people just don't know, but 3D printing could be used for to benefit.
We in the Gambia don't have the privileges to just have 3D printers for fun or to create things for fun. We have to use them for life-changing ideas and solutions. So basically, that's what we are doing.
Yeah. It's fantastic to hear.
How do you,
so go ahead.
How do you come up with the ideas to what things to make? Is it on the spot, someone comes and has a problem and you try to solve it with 3D printing, or do you sometimes come up just with something yourself, seeing the struggles of the locals?
So when we started, obviously we knew that there was huge potential of 3D printing, but we wanted to contextualize to fit the Gambian needs. We just did not want to have 3D printers and say, oh, look, it's the cool technology, you can use it to do this, that, and that. We wanted to go out and look for things that are needed that 3D printing can solve. And since we're in the Gambia, obviously, almost everything that comes to this country, that we use in this country, is imported. So we had to go and look for areas that 3D printing could come in, and that would benefit Gambians. So sometimes we come up with ideas. Sometimes people come to us and say, we want to do this. Do you think it is possible with 3D printing? And we will look into it. If it's possible, we go ahead with it. And sometimes ideas just flow and we come up with them. So our partners ask for things and we look into them. We design, we go through the process of product development, and we end up with products most times. Sylvester, you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, that's the funny thing you said, because I remember our beginnings when we set the company in 2019. The most common question when we published 3D printing was, are you printing T-shirts? Are you printing on cups? Are you printing stickers, right?
Right.
So, I mean, throughout, let's say, 2.5 years of working in the Gambia very intensively, we're also trying to raise awareness about 3D printing, what can actually be done by 3D printing. Most of this has to be done by our example. So we need to investigate how anything can be solved by 3D printing. And very often we need to take the initiative to say, okay, let's try this. We can do this, we cannot do this, let's try this.
So who's doing a lot of your design work, a lot of the CAD work? Are you guys doing it yourselves? Are you teaching CAD to the people that you're working with so that they're kind of doing it themselves, or are you working with other designers?
Well,
we have
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay.
I was going to say we have a designer. I do not design. Sylvester designs, and we have a designer. But Sylvester, go ahead.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, I was the only one with some design skills, right? And basically, our first intervention in the Gambia was for the medical sector, because COVID-19 came shortly after we get established, and we were kind of working closely with the local medical research institute to develop various medical devices. So we trained them in CAD, in design. And one day, a young boy, like 20 years old, came to us, contacted us, that he has some basic designs and he's interested in 3D printing, whether he can come and see us. So I said, okay, let's see. And when I saw the guy, and when he showed me some of his work, I knew that I want to have this guy in my team. So we actually created the position of graphic designer, and he's working with us till now, and he is now doing all the designs.
That's great.
I actually miss designing. I love it, but there is no time. There are different tasks for me.
Right. That's fantastic.
He's an amazing designer, Babuka.
Yeah, it's a little building the community and then having the resources come from the community that you built is really great.
Well, yeah. Also, everyone that joined our team had no idea of 3D printing before joining our team. So this also is something that we have done in Gambia, because we introduced 3D printing and we got people to accept and also want to work in this sector. So this for us is a great milestone, because everyone that is working with us actually learned about 3D printing on the job, and now they love it. It's an amazing team.
We have a question from our viewers, and that's an interesting one. What are the primary uses for your resin printers compared to your FDM printers? Because I noticed you have both, the SL1 and the Mark IIIs.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, we do not use resin printer that much, right? These are either applications where we need a very detailed designs, very precise, very detailed, right? These are the most common applications, but I would say it's a fraction of our production doing by resin printers. We at the beginning we actually purchased a resin printer. We were experimenting also with some medical devices, but there were so many challenges when it comes to medical applications of resin printers, and particular resins and procedures, workflows, and so on. So basically, we don't use it so much. But right now, we are having a project. It's a locally made board game, 3D printed. And part of the game characters will be 3D printed because we need a very high level of detail on resin printer. Yeah.
Is this it?
Right.
This is the board game?
Yes.
Yes, the Ninkinanka Trail.
Okay.
Is the box from an empty spool core?
Yes.
Yes.
I looked at that. I looked at that tube and recognized that tube. That's a great reuse.
Actually, in the Gambia, a lot of there's a great emphasis on environment and recycling, right? So when you actually launched the recycled PET-G and PLA, we were so happy that it will really bring attention when you're trying to incorporate recycling, reusing of things in the Gambia.
So we're using these empty spools, and the 3D printed pads are here. Some of them I have here with me that we are printing. Right. So this is what we're using, and we later assemble to create the complete box.
That's fantastic. Because, like you said, it's hard to import everything, and when you've already imported this, you might as well try to use it as best as possible.
Exactly, and we want to use recycled products, obviously.
That's great. Have you guys found any interesting or novel uses for the actual outside of the spools? Is there anything that you guys are doing with those? Or we definitely have lots of entries in some of our contests for some of those, but I wasn't sure if you guys are practically using them.
Right now, not the outer pad. We have tried building a shelf with one, and a designer in Gambia also collected a bunch of them, and she was supposed to get back to me, but not yet. She's still trying to create something. So let's see. We are still looking for ways of using them.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Will be very interesting. So you guys run workshops with the community. How many workshops have you guys run thus far?
Well, I think we stopped counting really, but I would say that there is like hundreds of people that we have trained on various workshops, right? Because some workshops are like for schools, few hours workshop, introduction to 3D printing. Some workshops even last months, right? Right now we are working with students of University of the Gambia, and we are training them in basically full stack 3D printing from operation, maintenance, design, everything, right? So this is the workshop that run for like 3-4 months, right? Until we hand over everything to them. But mostly, I mean, we work with hospitals, with schools, and also with local businesses. We are trying to bring these technical components to the non-technical businesses, like you saw the soap makers and so on. So they will also become kind of familiar with the opportunities of technology like 3D printing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Have you by any chance seen the Prusa Academy for the Mark III's?
Yeah. I have seen it. Yeah, we have reviewed it, and particularly for myself, I love the design principles course.
Okay, so do you think they'll be useful for you? Because I would hope so.
Super useful, because so far we have been creating our own presentations, our own materials, right? Especially for the design component, right? And this, I would say, honestly, it's a great compilation of important principles, right? It's not about everything from scratch. I think that it's good if person has a basic understanding of 3D design, right? Very basic. But these principles, even if our designer came, he was having some experience with Blender, right? But for 3D printing, there are some very specific things, like mentioned in the course, like supports, like the minimal feature size, and so many details that I would say very well put together in the design principles course.
That's great to hear. That it will come in useful.
Yeah, and that was one of the goals with setting up these classes, was being able to have, like you say, institutions not have to kind of rebuild it every time that they wanted to teach these kind of things. Create a fundamentals that got people started. If later on they needed to expand into certain aspects of it or whatnot, that's great. But why does everyone have to invent the wheel to have the cart, right? When we're building the carts. So let's make sure that everyone is on the same footing as far as getting up to speed. So that's great. Yeah. It's useful for you guys.
Have you guys looked into, that's another question from a viewer, into filament production in Gambia? From just reading the question, I think it's very big task.
Yes and no. It's a bit technical question, so I will answer you if you agree. Since the beginning, everybody was asking us, whether we can recycle plastic to make a filament, right? And since we know there are some challenges, right, in doing it at a large scale, we have been doing some research about available machines and so on. But so far, it seems that it can be done either for large format 3D printing or for, let's say, on a very small scale, just to demonstrate the principles. But for consistent production from recycled plastic, it is a challenge. When it comes to making our own filament, I would say our production consumes maybe 300-400 kilogram a year. And we use different colors, different materials, and so on. And I think to make it kind of economically sustainable for us, we would need to produce a large quantity of the same type and same color of filament. So there is an opportunity to actually re-export to other neighboring countries, which we are investigating the opportunities. So far, there are some logistical challenges. Even to neighboring Senegal, it's not easy to ship the goods, right? But we believe that either our production increase in that way that it will be economically beneficial, or we will be able to overcome those challenges.
Interesting.
It is not our focus right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What kind of challenges have you guys run into that you would say were, you know, very specific with doing this in Gambia that, you know, the rest of us take for granted?
Electricity.
I know you're going to mention it.
Electricity supply. I mean, that's why we came up with the mobile solar 3D printing station. So we can have 3D printers in most part of the country without having to depend on the national grid. So this is the main challenge, because obviously in Gambia you have power cuts. I don't think you have those in Czech or in the US.
Right.
So this is the main challenge, if you ask me.
Oh, how's the power panic working for you? Is it saving your
power
prints for
panda?
the Mark III can recover from power outage? Is that
Yes.
like saving some of your prints at least?
This is actually our favorite part of the printer, because it actually works in Gambia, because we always have power cuts and most times we're able to recover our prints. So yes.
That's great. And so you said you have a mobile solar farm where you, I assume, charge batteries and then you print from energy you harvested from the sun.
Yes, we have. Actually, we made 2 of those. The first one was sometime
so good.
last year or year before last, and the recent one we just finished 2 weeks ago, and we're still testing. It is called Power Kunda, made by one of our interns together with the team, and we are ready to roll it out. Still testing, but it looks good. I think there should be a picture somewhere.
Well, I just want to add that basically the device is designed for a constant production 24/7 using one printer, right? So that's how it's designed. However, we have tried with 3 printers. When the sun is lighting well during the day, we can produce with 3 printers as well. So I'm just saying, because you said, Nicolas, you said farm, so it's actually designed for 1 printer.
Yeah, right.
It can
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, that's nice. So during the peak hours, you basically get more energy than you can store, I guess.
Exactly.
So that's when you can run like an 4-8 hour print, 1 extra printer, and then that's it.
Yes.
Yes.
And you asked about, whether we are able to save some prints in case that the light goes off. Yes, we are. It really depends how well we calibrate the printer, and also what materials, where exactly it stops, and so on. But yes, in general, we are able to recover some of the prints because of that.
And how long the power has been off for.
Yeah, of course, the print can detach from the build plate, and then you're done. And yeah, sometimes even on the shows, I know that if there's several outages very quick after each other, that sometimes it just the printer gets lost in all the outages and just gives up.
Yeah.
You know, in the office, I mean, the building has a generator, but to overcome the difference between the generator and the grid, we have like a powerful UPS. We are powering the printers. It can sustain 8 printers for like 30 minutes. And it's usually enough to change from one source to another.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. So one last question before we let you guys go. I'm sure some of our listeners are very interested in this and are curious as to if there's anything that they can do to kind of help out with the mission that you guys have. Is there anything that you guys can suggest?
Juka?
I will leave that to you.
It's actually a difficult question, right? Because I believe that a lot of the viewers are from the makers community in all over the world, right?
Right.
I would say, based on my experience, that 3D printing in Gambia is very, very specific, right? The product, the needs, and so on. We always welcome anyone to visit us and to see what we are doing in person. So that's some sort of invitation for the maker community to come and see. And in the second, we have products on Printables. We will be glad if people will download them, print them, test them, give us the feedback, or give us suggestions for another products, right? That can be relevant. That's something that we would really welcome.
All right.
Great.
Thanks so much, guys, for being on the show.
This was again.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because you have a unique perspective on the 3D printing because of where you are.
I love the 3D printing in Gambia is out of necessity, not just for fun. So yeah. it's a very, very interesting perspective, and it's really great to get that kind of input. So thank you guys for being here.
It's actually fun. Because it's out of necessity doesn't mean it's not fun, because it's
absolutely not just for fun. Not just for fun. Yes, exactly. So thank you guys for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Good luck with everything that you are doing, and let us know how Prusa can help in the future. So
thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. They were great.
Yes. Also, I like the solar generated, power for 3D printers that make things that really help you. That's cherry on top. That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they say, you don't really think about running printers in places where power isn't consistent and things like that, and what kind of challenges and how to overcome those. So, yeah, it really is interesting to get that perspective. Okay, so we've got a little bit left. So let's talk about our Prusa Live Show Us Your Prints contest.
Yes.
All right. So
pulling it up.
Okay, fantastic. So every show, we encourage you guys to go on Twitter and send us pictures of the prints that you guys are making. Make sure that they're on your bed or with your machine, so that we can see that they are printed on a Prusa, and tag those #Prusa Live, and you have a chance to win some filament. So we pick a few entries, 3 entries every show, and show those off. So the other thing is we don't tell anybody else about this anywhere else. So you only know if you're watching Prusa Live. So your chance to win some filament. So who do we have in our third place this week there, Mickey?
So I'm pulling up third place now. We have Drew Mayo that has a print on the Mini. It's a costume prop laser gun.
Yeah, super fun laser gun.
That's cool.
And I love well, first of all, I love the color pattern on this one and what he did, but I love how kind of big this is for something that's printed on the Mini, and it goes back into that whole
pretty huge.
Just because it's Mini doesn't mean you can't make big things. Sometimes it just requires some assembly. So Yeah.
It really reminds me of the like Looney Tunes Martian.
Yeah, totally.
What's he called? Marvin, something like
Marvin, yeah, Marvin the Martian.
that. It's been so long. Okay, yeah, that really reminds me of the show and the gun style, laser gun style in there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if that's specifically from that one. I didn't click on the model, but yeah, I totally agree there. Okay, so who's our number 2 there?
Moving on to number 2, we have Harold Anderson, and I have like a déjà vu. Have we not? Are you sure we have not shown this before? Maybe I've just seen it the moment he posted it.
Yeah, I don't think so. It wasn't on the list, but yeah, I thought these were super.
Come on, he's saying I decided to try sculpting in Fusion 360 and made a very hungry bird. Is this your like first try sculpting? That's insane.
Right.
It looks so good.
Yes, it is. It is very cool. It does kind of look like they're really giant birds eating humpback whales, but yes.
Which is hilarious.
Yes, because I think the fin, the way that the fin there is a whale fin, not a fish fin.
By the way, this big wipe tower will be completely hollow all the way up here. It's just it's when you have 5 colors, it's good to have big footprint because if it's this tall, it would be unstable at the top. But this thing looks huge, but it will be completely hollow. Like. Okay, it will have super sparse infill, so it will not waste as much fun as it
everyone
looks.
Complaining about that white tower. It is not a dense object, that is for sure.
Awesome design. Congratulations.
Yeah, fantastic. I wonder what's going on with his power supply off there in the back too.
Ooh.
A little curious.
Maybe you're ready for the enclosure?
Yeah, maybe. Let us know, Harold. We want to know.
Okay.
What's up with your power supply off to the side?
And we are moving to our first place.
Our first place.
And that goes to Peter Spain. And it's The King of the Dead by Fotis, who we had on the show before.
Right.
And
I thought this was great because like obviously Fotis' sculpt is fantastic. It looks great in the Oh My Gold. It's a beautiful print. But then he did that dark wash on it, and it brings out so much character to it. Like it really looks like an aged like bronze part, and just
is it really just a dark wash on top of the?
That's what he says in the tweet.
Because this totally looks like a completely custom overpaint of everything.
Yeah, he says it's just a dark wash,
But yeah, it looks so good. Like I guess
it's so good.
The Oh My Gold is so bright that when you darken it down, even the brightest spots kind of become actually more gold than the original color. That's so good.
Yeah, I saw this and was just like, wow, that looks so fantastic. And so, yeah, way to go, Peter. That is fantastic. Yeah.
Really?
Again, let us know more. Is that just a dark wash? Did you do any like specific touch-ups or anything? Because wow, that it's great. It's fantastic.
So good.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who submitted. There's a lot more of you that watch than submit, and it's an easy way to get some free filament. So make sure to send in those tweets of Pound Prusa Live. With pictures of what you guys are printing. So, yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. What do we have out there for questions?
Questions. I'm scrolling all the way up in the chat and I see one. Are we going to any maker fairs in Europe this year? If you go to Printables, there are events in the top menu, and there's a filter events that we attend as the Prusa team, and you can even filter those that Joe himself will attend. So go check that out, and you will see all the events that we're going to visit.
And keep an eye on that because it's ever adjusting, especially as like things start to open up a bit more. Here in the U.S., I am highly considering trying to get to a few more that the rest of the team may not be necessarily going to, since it's easy for me to get to. So they may not be at events, but if you're going to maker fairs, let me know. You might see me there.
Yeah. Is the Academy price a yearly subscription? No. Or is it one-off, as I joined today? It's one-off. It's $5 for the printer courses, $10 for the design principles. You have it forever. So yeah, it's definitely not a subscription. And And, you know, all the information is kind of already usually out there. Even in our own materials, we have our handbooks, which I think are great.
Right.
We have our knowledge base to, help Prusa 3D.com. So all the information is out there. This is just really
a good way to present it.
Yeah, it's just really good way to present it. And, it's one link that, you visit, and for the next few days, you have a lot to go through. And by the end of it, like, for example, in the Mark III course, you get from taking the printer out of the box and you know nothing about it to being able to design something very simple, slice it, print it, even do some basic, final touch-ups. So yeah, that's it, and it's one-time price.
Yeah.
Can the Prusa Enclosure and the Mark III Plus be purchased and shipped as a bundle? Not right now. We haven't set up the bundle, but I suspect once we get through the like order queue, we might very well do that. We are even considering. We'll see. But I suspect we will do that. And then there is tackling of the open sourceness of the Enclosure. We have not released it yet because we're not shipping it yet. It would be a shame if some cheap knockoff would start shipping before we even ship our, I think, very nicely made one. But yeah,
it's going to be a trickier one to kind of fabricate open source. There's a lot of like really nice custom metal working on there. That's not super easy on just the normal maker scale, but we'll eventually have it out there.
Let me know if you see something, Matt. I'm going through the chat looking for more questions.
I am not on YouTube right now, but I just hit up in Discord to see if we had anything there.
Yeah, Prusa Connect, that's still happening. Mini Wi-Fi, still working on that. We had the XL for the first time in the US, so I believe we kind of hopefully answered a lot of questions there that now the community sort of has the knowledge and more people know about it more, so they can answer some questions. There's, obviously still changes being made to the XL as it's being finalized. For example, the retractable draft shield is now fully magnetic. So both sides, the top and the bottom, are now attached by magnets. So I love that.
I have to say I was so impressed by the draft shield actually finally getting hands on it.
Yeah.
The material that it's made out of is so thick and so nice. And I actually had to stop and ask you because someone asked me to lower the draft shield and I went to push it down and it wouldn't go. And I wasn't sure if it actually had a lock on it. It wasn't being held by magnets. And I had to ask you, Mickey, is it still just held by magnets? Because the magnets that we have in there are so strong that it's not going anywhere. It's really great.
And asking about the time frame for the XL. So we are trying to get it into Q3, get it get it out. We'll see as we get closer to that. Everyone's doing their best. There are tasks are being parallelized, so different things are being finalized in parallel. But I don't think we don't need to repeat it how much the market situation sucks right now. Getting anything takes so long. Everything is so expensive. So it's definitely not easy to get it out. But we're doing everything we can.
It's also worth noting, if you want to see a little bit more about the Excel and more of what we had going on Rapid, I just found out that Joel, the 3D printing nerds, coverage of our booth will be coming out this Saturday. So keep an eye out Saturday for his videos on what we were doing.
Andreas, it's Nico Tasha is asking, reason for releasing Alpha 0 of Prusa Slicer 2.6 before 2.5? I don't see any such thing on GitHub.
I don't know about that.
So I don't know where you saw it, but definitely the next version after the next major version after 2.4 will be 2.5.
Yeah.
So if we've done that, there was a mistake somewhere, or if maybe someone else, I don't know. But they're definitely not doing any weird. It's a shame that this episode number is not 42, because today, you know what day it is. So it would be nice to pay an homage to Hitchhiker's Guide in the Galaxy by this being the 42nd episode, but didn't work out. Yeah,
didn't work out. But with that, that's our show there, Mickey.
I guess it is. I'm looking for. Yeah, we have more Prushamans on the way. We even have new Prushaman material on the way.
Oh yeah, there's an exciting new Prusaman on the way. I can't wait for that release.
When is the next Printables update coming? Very soon. I'm so excited to try it. So yeah, that will be nice. We will release a whole new video about that, and all the smaller updates that we've done over the past 2 weeks, because we update Printables all the time.
Right.
And yes, Andras, I will give shout out to Martin Horak, as he's asking me to do.
Okay. All right, everyone. That is our show. So, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you guys stopping by and spending our time, Mickey showing off that shirt one last time. We can't wait to see you guys next month. Stay safe. Keep printing. We'll talk to you later. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.